Scheduled meeting of the Board of Education for December 2nd to order. Let the record show all members are present except for member Tuttle and Davis. Audience to visitors. This is the time when members of the audience can...
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank the board for letting me attend the school board convention last week. I had attended many breakout meetings. One of them was a grant meeting. Just by going to this one meeting, we're going to be able to recoup $5,400 in boiler tune-up fees.
Cool.
So I just thought that one grant meeting was well worth the trip. I just wanted to
know
share that with
Yeah.
you all. I just thought that was great.
Awesome.
Thank you all.
Anyone else? Proceeding on to the consent agenda. Everyone should have that in their packet. At this time, I'd ask if there are any questions in this regard. If not, entertain a motion to approve. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hasl's a yes. Isaac?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Bailey? Yes. Calvert?
Yes.
Secretary's report. No secretary's report. Superintendent's agenda.
Okay. Just held the truth in taxation hearing, and because the levy, what we were asking is over the 5%. No questions were asked, no changes have been made to the levy since our last meeting, laid for 30 days for public inspection. So at this time, I would ask that the board approve the levy for the 14-15 school year.
Motion to approve. Motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hasl's yes. Isaac?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Bailey? Yes. Calvert?
Yes. Okay, and I don't know how we want to do this. When's your son supposed to call? Do you want to go first? Do you want Carol to go first?
Does not
It
matter.
doesn't matter to us.
He'll call 3 minutes after I text him.
Oh, yeah. You want Carol just to go, or is he just waiting on you? It doesn't.
He's waiting, but it won't hurt him any.
Just call and we'll do you first.
Okay, well, I have a little PowerPoint. Is that all right with you?
It's fine.
Okay. You want me to call yours?
Sharon was going to make a presentation on virtual school, and she's working with her son on some of this, and they've been using it at Wentz, and felt like it would be something good for the board.
Good article, by the way. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, tonight's purpose was to show you, so when you read the article, you know what we were talking about.
It's a sidebar.
It's like, that's exactly it. Glass trips are what we are calling it. We wanted the glass room, but that was copyrighted, and I wasn't paying $2,000 for it, so we're not doing it. We can't always go all the places, sorry, I'm spinning and flailing. We can't always go all the places that we want to go. So what I wanted to tell you about was, what is a glass trip? And it is basically a virtual field trips, because let's face it, not all of our kids are going to get to go to Chicago or other places. We're trying to hook one up in New York City here this winter, we'll see. It is using cutting edge technology, and I incorporated research in with that. For example, we did the Field Museum. The kids had to research the Field Museum, what kinds of things were there, the history of it, and then we went in a tour on real time. It was not a videotape, it was Cash and Jordana, all 100 pounds of her, pretending to pull this 6,000 block by the sled. And like it or not, we have a lot of kids who aren't ever going to get to go up there. I pulled my classroom, and out of my 22 students, I had one who had been to that museum. And the reason she went is because she knew we were going to go virtually later on. Now, what is Google Glass? That's a pretty new concept for you. That's what they look like, except for Cash's are gray, not orange. And the headset goes almost like a little girl's headband, around just like sunglasses would. And then the earpiece over here is a mouse. And then the part that's behind the ear looks almost like a hearing aid. It is the battery. And he can just touch it and say, Glass, take a picture of this, and it takes your picture instantly. And he uses it at work every day. The job he has right now, he had to completely rewire a building for high definition TVs and fiber optic and all this stuff. And his job was to make sure that his boss knew what the schematics were and everything for all the wiring. So when he had it all put together, Glass, take a picture of it, email it to Bob. And Bob had it just like that. It is a computer. It does anything the computer does except for print. But you can email it, and we all know we have wireless printers, and they will print off whatever you email. And The framework is like glasses, that's a little prism that's right above your eyebrow. I tried them on, immediately we were ended up in outer space. He's like, Mom, don't touch that part. You know, I was like, okay. But I said, does this distract you? And it's no more than when I put my bifocals on. You just get used to it, and you know, if you had your glasses up there, you know, those of you who wear glasses, you don't notice the framework all the time. You just choose to ignore that. It is a mouse pad. You can also just tap it and do voice commands. And the videos, photos, anything else. I know there's been some concerns about privacy issues. And his example was, you know, if I'm in the bathroom, but you know, standing next to somebody, they're going to know because it sees what I see, and I would literally have to be bending over. And I think they figured that out. So you know, privacy stuff like that. A little white light comes on, and it's like any video camera. You know when the camera's on, and it is like that for glass too. And then that's him wearing them, and Chicago in the background. Most of these pictures, not this one, will be taken through glass, and that was a photo walk that Jordana was leading, and he always wears the orange jacket because people look for the guy in the orange jacket and they know how to hook onto the photo walk. But, you know, he's very light sensitive, and he does have sunglasses that will connect into it. One of the things that they'll be looking about doing is some people need bifocals, so they need prescription glasses, and through this beta testing, Google has figured out that, yeah, they needed to make some little tweaks like that. He won an essay contest. I said, woohoo, Paris High School, I learned how to write there. And, you know, and he had to explain how he would use Google Glass if he was one selected, and he immediately talked about using it in schools that didn't have access to world-class museums. And then after he won the contest, called me and said, by the way, they may be interviewing you. Thanks, dude. You know, but they did, so apparently they took him his word for it. He's one of the first three. There's now more, but it's by invitation, and he just happened to know some Google people, and that kind of helped a little bit, besides the essay contest. And he uses it every day as his event coordinator. He can shoot people. I'm sending him a contract right now, and just do it while he's talking to them. And the other thing is, he can do it with Wi-Fi. It does work with the cell phone, and it's real time. You see instantly what he is seeing. It's when we went to the Field Museum, they were concerned about us videotaping, and I said, no. The only storage is in our brains. It's just a camera streaming live, and we had to jump through some hoops, and I had to get very, very persuasive, and then they finally gave us permission. But I think they had this vision of us coming in with video cameras, you know, and armed guards holding the rest of the crowd out. And I was like, if I didn't tell you, you guys wouldn't have even known he was doing it. I'm just being nice. Yeah. And that's kind of what they went, oh, okay. Shouldn't have been nice, that's it. Now, our first glass trip.
Let me call you.
Don't worry. Okay, I have to say, this would be going to be up and we up. Now, that is through Google Glass. I wanted our parents to know immediately, if we're listening and talking and some crazy wino walks by him, we're going to hear it and see it. And I wanted the parents to know that firsthand, that, you know, yes, we'll move away or turn off the volume or whatever as soon as we can, but it's like going on the internet. You've got to be ready for what you come across. And so on the first glass trip, he went through down by the Chicago River, and I was on open house night, and he called in to us, and I loved it. After open house night, I had two little fifth grade girls dancing down the hallway going, we talked to Cash on the TV. And I was like, okay, cool. It's pretty good quality. We did have to update our camera because our equipment was old enough, and thank you, Amy and Nathan, for, oh yeah, you need a better camera. And our second glass trip, again, that's downtown Chicago. That's like, if you were standing there looking through it, that's what he saw. And we did that for a couple of reasons. He does work in the downtown area, and as part of our writing good questions, you know, how tall are you really isn't the best question in the world. And we wanted to come up with good quality writing, so part of our writing was to come up with good questions. And then, of course, the real important one was, let's get the wiggles out so we can concentrate on learning stuff later. And the kids did very well. They would get the giggles and come up like, hi, Cash! And then, but we finally got that out, and now you saw it the other day. There were some better questions rather than
That's my favorite school story so far, yes.
Very good. Glass tube number 3 is what you just read about. That is not a Google Glass picture, that's one I got off the internet. But the next one you see, we went to the Field Museum. I was certain they were going to turn us down because I got a very hostile reaction at first. But as my son said, Mom, you can be pretty persuasive when you went your way. And we walked along with him, and he showed us the entire Egypt area. And basically, well, we read about this mummy. We want you to go find it and show it to us. So instant gratification for the kids on all their research they did. And when we finished that, I was so proud of my class because it was right after you walked out. They said, well, when does the thank you note due? I said, 3 o'clock. And they sat down, real world writing. They just poured their hearts out to the Field Museum for giving us permission to come in. I'm thinking, my golly, they better. I've been working since August trying to get that permission. This is from the front steps, and he also has this vignette capability, which is the little inset photo. And he does send us a greeting most days of the week, and I put it up on the smart board or walk around and show kids, just, you know, Cass is on the train, look at this guy. And, but I just want them to be comfortable with it, and he was standing on the front steps of the Field Museum and turned around and took that picture right before he went in to take us for the walk down there. And the little image about the World's Fair, which of course the kids had to do some research on. And to me, the most important thing is they now have a rapport with him. They feel real comfortable asking him questions, and he knows my curriculum really well. And you know, thank goodness for email and texting, because I send him all sorts of things of, hey, we want to go do such and such next. And hopefully it will continue working really well, because it's a win-win situation. And let me text him and tell him to call us. How's that? Now, I'll let you look at these class responses. Claire, who was a 4th grader, thought it was totally awesome to see the museum with all the mummies and stuff in it. Wait a minute, I can't text and talk at the same time. It's my age, is all there is to it. How about now? We'll see if it works. Kendall's a 5th grader, and she thought it, because we are piloting it so we can help them discover what some of the issues are. And Bryson really liked it because, let's face it, not all the kids are going to get to see stuff. Indira, I thought, boy, you couldn't pay this kid to write this answer better. It was a good learning experience, and I gave him one. And I had one of the students do the interviews because I said, no, I want to be able to say I didn't tell him what to say. And I didn't. Now, here's the real kid who got to see stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see stuff. And then they were really interested in the World's Fair. And then, of course, experimenting with Google Glass. And again, I'm glad it's coming into our lives. I thought, oh man, this is perfect. Now, where are we going to go with this? We are pioneering this technology. It's not perfect. And there are some glitches. For example, we learned we needed a better camera. Wi-Fi, when he went down into the tomb, that could be him right now. Trying dash old. Hey, Nathan.
Takes time.
We're working on it. I don't know. Someone else come up here and talk to him. He knows me. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't see video.
Is it this speaker you want? Hello?
I can hear you. I cannot.
All right, Nathan's working on it. Whatever that means, we're working on it. This is a perfect example of some of our technology stuff. Part of it is because I'm old and I wasn't born doing this kind of stuff, and I have to learn to make it up.
Camera working.
Our camera's working.
See, the amazing
Yeah,
is
it's
it's just all like just right there to his eyes instead of carrying around a laptop or whatever.
Sure,
You're just, it's so easy.
Yeah.
I'm
much do those cost?
$1,500.
Right now, they're $1,500, so, $5,000 on eBay, but they're gonna come out in 2014.
But maybe-
While he's getting that going,
maybe everything else will get cheaper.
what we're gonna do is continue more with the curriculum enhancement. And Cash called me, the other day and told me that the people at Google Chicago heard about what we were doing and asked if they could come play too. And I'm thinking, yeah. I told Amy, I said, we can wrangle something out of this, that'd be good. But, I'm not sure how they wanna do that yet, and, hey, I can see me on the screen now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, this is a brand new camera, we've never even tried it before until now. I texted him all the way in here and said, hey, let me call you ahead of time so we can get it going. And he goes, I'm in a meeting.
Instead
I
of
was
going
like,
out.
okay, never mind, that's not happening. The kids like it because they can see if they're in front of the camera by looking at the smaller inset, and they've gotten very brave of just coming right up to the camera, you know.
There. You hear, but I can't see you.
We can't see you at all.
Mrs. Wright, what would be interesting is if like you could have a pair and I could have a pair and we could just converse like that, like, will they eventually do that?
I would, right now, there's some glitches. they have to
Interactive
fix.
with, like, people who have the goggles could
Cash
interact.
does that every day with people.
You can already do that?
Yes, you can do that. The problem is,
So it's like a portable Skype.
Like, this is neat.
hello,
Because of the convenience.
we're trying here, we can see us on the little video, and we could hear you at first, but now we're not getting diddly. No. Wi-Fi or landline?
This one's mine.
Landline. Well, okay, Nathan's trying to call you right now. Nathan is trying to call you right now. Okay, he says he has to call you. Okay, he's off. Okay, try it again and then we'll quit if it doesn't. Okay, thanks. Okay, all right. He says he's gonna call back in about 30 seconds, because right now there's a fire truck surrounding. But, obviously, there's some technology glitches that we have to work through. But as we get through them, you know, Nathan was great the other day. I was like, Ash, he's on the phone, the news is here, the kids are here, I'm here, you need to be here too. And, you know, we dropped the phone call multiple times, but again, I think it was the Wi-Fi part of it. That's something that Google Glass people are looking at, is the way he hears right now is that little earpiece vibrates against this bone behind your ear. Well, if you're in a noisy place, that doesn't work very well. And when he was in the museum, I ended up texting Jordana to say, tell Cash to go find Harwell and William, you know, because he couldn't hear us. And one of the things that the Glass Explorers have discovered is they need to do a little ear pod thing so that you can hear in really, really busy areas. The other thing is the battery is only about 45 minutes when you're actively streaming data. If it doesn't work this time, we're calling it uncle.
We can see our hands working.
Our camera's working, but we're not seeing you. Well, why don't we just, well, I can't make text you while he's on. Why don't you just cancel it? And then I will finish about where we're going and not take any more of your time. Your jacket.
Yeah.
We can hear you. We can hear
I
you.
don't know why we're not getting the video of it. I don't know. All right, Cash, never mind, we're gonna have to tweak the machine more. I will tell him not to call back.
That's what I used to do.
That didn't sound very nice. You don't call me, I'll Okay, can we go back to that? What's next? We're gonna continue pioneering, and there's other places we want to go visit. I am in the process of working with Art Institute. Barely didn't get mine done though. The Willis Tower. This is the last time, I promise. Nope, sorry. Let's give it up for tonight.
Hey, I see you there.
Oh, we see you! We see you now! Third time's the charm! Okay, we're all looking at you right now, or what you're seeing. What are you seeing?
I am, standing in the West Loop on the corner of, let's see, Washington and Jefferson.
The operator.
So did the fire truck get by okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, not there. I can actually see you better than I've ever seen you on 3D broadcast.
The new camera.
That's right. You sound a lot clearer too.
Do any of you have any questions for me? No, the school board's not talking to you tonight. All right, guys, we're taking a lot of your time already, so I'm gonna say thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, thanks, bye. That's something we
That's
need to
almost
work on.
creepy.
It is, it's cool though, that
Yeah.
they can do all
I
that.
should have go to the museum in the school, because you can see the mummies and stuff.
Seeing the mummies was cool.
It really was.
We have all sorts of stuff, and here's my most favorite thing is that headquarters at Google Chicago wants to come play. And I was like, you people come play all you want, just make it possible for us to do some cool things.
Now, is the picture always that grainy, or was that
No.
just where he was?
That's where he was, and that's something that
It was
the
nighttime.
Google Glass people are aware of, is there is a discrepancy on what you see at daytime and what you see at nighttime. If he is not moving, and he, like in the daytime, and he's standing still, if he was looking, it would be like looking at a video rather than in person, but it's much better quality. Did I eject that already? Yeah. Any other questions? No, you can't quote.
Don't be nice to that.
That wasn't supposed to come out that way. It'll be kind of cool if we get to do more things, and my class is really into that we're giving advice to the Google people of what they need to make better. They are the guinea pigs. Thank you very much.
The next one will be nearly as exciting.
Sorry, Carol.
The new state report.
We could have Cash call in and interrupt.
This is quite as innovative.
But I will have to say though, you know, a lot of times the state does things and just shake our heads at and just think, why did they do that? But the new Illinois report card is user-friendly. There's a lot of good information there that they didn't have before on the report card. So this is a change for the best. So I just want to preface it with that. And so what I'd just like to do tonight, I'm not going to take up much of your time, but just go over the features that are on the report card, and that way, if you're at home and would like to dig into it deeper and find out more facts, you know how to do that and what's there. So that's my thought on tonight's presentation. So if you just look there, this is, you would, if you want to get on it, you would IllinoisReportCard.com. It's right there at the top. This is just a brief overview of our district's report card. It used to be, I don't know if you recall, but they used to be 4, 6, 7, 8 pages long. So they definitely condensed it, but yet included good information. So if we look, let's see, right here, I want to show you about fast facts about Parish Union District 95. You can just see quickly, you get a bird's eye view of our ISAT, Prairie State scores, our enrollment, how many schools in our district, teachers, student mobility, our graduation rate. And then they say 34% ready for college and career. You're saying, well, how do they determine that? Well, you just click on that. I know that's a little, you might not be able to make that out, but it says that's the percentage of students in our district who achieved a combined score of at least 21 on the ACT. So they determine you need a 21 on the ACT to be ready for college. One thing I did want to sort of highlight tonight, if you look at our spending, of course they divided that up into instructional and operational spending. So I'm just going to click on that. It takes, well, that was quick, okay. Now if you look there, you can see, let's go down just here, okay. At the top is instructional and underneath it is operational. And we start at 2009 and then go to 2013. We can see in both the operational and instructional, the amount spent per pupil has gone down. I don't think there's probably too many school districts in the state that can say that. And I think that's something to be very proud of. Thanks to Connie and the board making good decisions, because we haven't cut services and resources for our students. And our average class size, that's on here too, is 18, and the average class size for the state is 21. So you can see we kept all the services and programs intact for our students, but yet we're able to lower the cost of instructional and operational training for students. So you should be commended for that. Just wanted to point that out there. Okay, I'm going to, back to the district. Now this is something new. You see where they say student academic growth? I talked to you before how they're going to use the growth model to determine AYP, and we hope that comes about. Their waiver has not been approved yet to say that's going to be a sure thing, but when you click on that, you can see our growth in, we divide up into reading and math, and the definition of student academic growth is that our students are advancing from one performance level on ISAT to another performance level within a 2-year period. So what they've done is they compared the 2012 ISAT scores with the 2013. They have a value table. They figure all this up. I don't want to go into any of those details tonight for you, but they're able to see how many of our students are moving up and progressing on the ISAT. And of course they need 2 years in order to be able to determine that. Well, the value is from 0 to 200. You can see there on the chart. So a score of 100 or over means that you're progressing and making progress towards the next performance level. If you score below 100, that means you had more students moving down than you did moving up. So we always like the score to be at least 100 or greater. Well, you can see there in reading as a district, we had 101, which that means we had more students moving up. The state average was 102. In math, however, we were 98, with the state average being 101. So we have a little bit of work there to do in math, but yet we're very close to the state average. So that's something new on the report card. Okay. Other things that are going to be coming. Hopefully that wasn't anything too important. Other things that are going to be coming in 2014. See, this is all referring back to getting our students ready for college and career and the push on Common Core. They have whether freshmen are on track to graduate. That will be coming in 2014 by the amount of courses they're taking. If you look under that, high school readiness, are 8th graders ready to be on track for entering high school? And then also middle school students passing Algebra 1, that's coming in 2014 as well. All new information that's on the school report card now. That will be in 2014. District environment. This is where they have the 5 essentials survey, and this gives teachers and students from grades 6 through 12 input on their comments about their school. So it rates the schools on those 5 categories, and you can see that's on your sheet. This year it was, we were piloting in it, and we have 100% participation, so everyone in our school district participated in that, even though the state average, apparently, they didn't have 100% participation because it says 85.5 right down here. But anyway, in next year, you'll have the results of those surveys that will be highlighted on the school report card. So they're trying to give you more of a picture, a broader picture of what's going on in the schools by using student growth, by using a survey to get input from teachers and students, and also parents as well. Next category. Student characteristics. I'm going to go here on showing a 5-year trend. And oops, I just want to stop right here. Okay. You can see by looking at our racial, ethnic diversity, we pretty much stay the same. If you look at the state, this is neat too, because all you have to do is click on add a state comparison, and right there the state bars come up for you so you compare it with the state. And you can see in downstate Illinois, we just don't have the cultural diversity that you're going to find in the Chicago and the suburb areas up there. We pretty much know that, and we stay the same. However, if I click on low-income students, and I want to show a 5-year trend, okay, and I'll also compare that with the state. Look what's happened there. On 2009, very beginning, we had 30% of our students on free and reduced lunch. That's how they determine low income. Look what's happened each year. Now in 2013, our district's up to 60%. So we have had a 100% increase in that category from 2009 to 2013. Now the state has gone up as well, but not nearly to that significant amount as our district has. Just from 2012 to 2013, we went from 52 to 60%. That's a 50% increase that 50% change increase that happened as well. So you can see that that tells us a lot. When we're dealing with those significant numbers there, we need to keep that in mind when we're working with students and parents and we're having those conversations and about curriculum of what our climate is. So,
Carol, do you know what year they changed the matrix as to what constitutes low income versus the other? I was thinking there was a point in time there where they bumped up the numbers to what constitutes poverty level. That would change that number.
Oh,
they would know that on the free and reduced, Debbie Asher probably could tell us that, because she sort of deals with
Yeah, I don't know
that
what the
in our
criteria
district.
has changed that much to make you
Yeah.
qualify, but I know there's
You know what I mean, the income level was,
Right.
was
Mhm,
very-
right.
not drastically, but it was bumped up.
Yes,
fairly
right, it
Yes, it
significantly,
was, and I don't know that year that,
because that'll affect that trend too.
right, it would. And so possibly that could be a reason why we're getting more as well.
But it should have affected the state as well.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Depends on the averages.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, I mean-
they ever look at like parent education, like if they're
That
coming
is-
from a family who only has high school level,
That is not on the school report.
or that would be interesting to know.
Right, right.
Should do that.
So those are, that's all the information, and you can click on any of those and you can get into details and those categories and dig deep into that. But I just want to show you how you get there. You go to the home, and all you have to do is, for example, and that's where you, IllinoisReportCard.com, and it takes you right there to that. So say you want to know, Mattoon. okay, that's close enough. So I go right there, and then up pops up map 2, and you can, you know, compare, you know, their facts with Paris, if that's what you'd like to do. And so if you're a parent that's moving into the area, this would be a very useful site to find out good information about the schools. So that concludes me just sort of letting you know what features are there in the new school report card. And this is just a quick snapshot of our district. So any other questions?
I think that will be much more informative for parents and for people looking. It's hard to weed through all those other pages and pages we had before to try to get to something you wanted to, whereas it's all right there on one
Right,
snapshot.
right.
So that's
It is, and
That is nice.
it's nice and it's very user friendly. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, under employment, you have a recommendation from Mr. Larson to employ 2 volunteer coaches at Mayo. He's asking to employ Darcy Matthews as assistant softball coach and Jeff Allen to serve as assistant baseball coach. I would ask the board to approve these volunteer coaching positions.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Passes yes. Isa?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Bailey? Calvert?
Yes.
Okay, we had a donation. The Kiwanis made a donation of $50 to Memorial School, and those funds will be used to purchase extra clothing to keep in Mrs. Grant's BD classroom. And Carolyn Brown Hodge made a $25 donation to the Willis Early Childhood Center. I would ask that the board accept these kind of donations.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Passes yes. Isa?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Bailey? Calvert?
Okay. Actually, I think Carolyn was, they were selling something on a fundraiser and she didn't want to purchase. She just said she'd just as soon give the money to the school, so that's what ended up happening there. We have a fundraiser request from Lori Drake at Mayo School for the volleyball team. They'll be holding a bake sale to raise money to purchase warm-ups and shirts. I'd ask the board to approve this fundraiser request.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion? Passes yes. Isa?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Bailey? Calvert?
Yes.
If there's no objection to the January board meeting due to the break, one of my, we could look at doing it immediately preceding the co-op board meeting at 4, and that may be a problem for you to get here, so we can talk about that or change it to a different day, but it probably need to be moved, so we can think about that. We'll go into committees, but there was a construction committee meeting today. Peter was in attendance there for the, for some of the items in the building project. And we did receive a letter from ISBE stating that we've met all our special ed compliance indicators. They send out these indicators every year. We have to respond to them, and if you don't meet one, you're cited for it and have to go ahead and remedy that. So we were pleased to hear that we had met all of our indicators, and that's the end of the superintendent.
Thank you. Any report of committees? Public hearing and petitions? Any unfinished business? Any matters to follow up? Any new business? Any right to revert? And we don't have a need for executive session, correct? Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Password yes. Isa?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Bailey? Calvert?
Yes.
Adjourned.
All right.